Aaron hated his job, but it wasn't always like this. In the early days of his teaching career, he was filled with excitement. He would walk into his classroom eager, with a spark in his eyes, ready to inspire young minds. The joy he felt from helping students understand complex ideas and watching them grow intellectually was the reason he had chosen the profession. Each day was filled with pleasant. But as the years passed, excitement began to fade. Although he continued to pour himself into his students and his career, something was missing. The passion that once fueled his lessons had dimmed, and despite his outward success, Aaron found himself feeling drained and unfulfilled. Teaching, which once brought him so much joy, had become a routine that left him feeling empty. One evening, as he sat grading papers late into the night, an old colleague visited him. The colleague observed Aaron's weariness and asked, "Aaron, when did you last feel joy in what you do? You've given so much to your students, but have you taken the time to nurture your own passions?" Aaron was struck by the question. It never really occurred to him that he had for a long time settled in more into robotically finishing tasks. So how did he get to this point? What could have gone wrong? In this video, we take a close look at the very nature of passion and the fact that it runs dry. We also look into all you could do to reignite passion, whether it be for a project, your work, or marriage. Passion runs dry. Aaron's story is a familiar one for many professionals. It is common in relationships and almost all aspects of life. We often begin our careers with a sense of excitement and purpose, but over time, the passion that once fueled our work starts to fade. This isn't just a matter of burnout, it's a natural part of human experience. Our brains are wired to seek novelty and challenge, but when we repeat the same tasks day after day, our sense of fulfillment can diminish. Scientists have studied this phenomenon through the lens of both genetics and psychology. In the field of epigenetics, it's been shown that our environment and behaviors can influence the expression of our genes. Prolonged exposure to stress or routine without proper renewal can activate genes associated with anxiety, depression, and fatigue. Aaron's experience of losing passion is a reflection of this dynamic. His brain, once sparked by novelty, had adapted to the familiar, and the joy he once felt had dulled over time. In psychology, this is often referred to as hedonic adaptation, the tendency for humans to return to a baseline level of happiness after experiencing positive or negative events. For Aaron, the joy of teaching new concepts had become part of his routine, and without nurturing his passion, it became a source of emptiness. Sadly, many in Aaron's shoes often live on like that, passionless. And this is because many do not know that passion, like every other human emotion, can be fueled. Passion needs to be fueled. Just as a fire needs wood to keep burning, passion needs fuel to stay alive. Aaron had allowed his passion for teaching to run on empty, but to reignite it, he needs to actively fuel it again. Here are 5 ways Aaron, and anyone in a similar position, can fuel their passion. 1. Continuous learning. Aaron had spent years imparting knowledge, but had neglected his own intellectual growth. One of the most effective ways to fuel passion is through learning new things. Learning stimulates the brain and activates reward centers that boost motivation. Research in neuroplasticity shows that the brain remains adaptable throughout life, meaning Aaron could reignite his love for teaching by learning something new, perhaps a new teaching method, subject, or hobby outside of work. Apply the same principle to yourself and any area of your life you have lost passion for, and you will soon feel the spark of emotions rising up in you. 2. Seeking novelty. Routine can kill passion, but novelty reignites it. By introducing new challenges or changing the way we approach tasks, we can restore excitement. For Aaron, this could mean experimenting with new ways of engaging his students or incorporating creative projects into his lessons. Studies have shown that novelty activates the brain's reward pathways, releasing dopamine, a neurotransmitter associated with pleasure and motivation. 3. Taking breaks. It might seem counterintuitive, but sometimes the best way to fuel passion is to step away from the work. If Aaron were to take a sabbatical, he would give himself the space to reflect, recharge, and rediscover what made him passionate in the first place. In fact, neuroscience research shows that periods of rest and recovery are essential for maintaining long-term motivation. Without these breaks, we run the risk of depleting our mental and emotional reserves. 4. Connection with others. Human connection is a powerful motivator. Aaron could rekindle his passion by seeking deeper connections with his students and colleagues. When we feel supported and part of a community, our sense of purpose is strengthened. Social neuroscience has shown that positive interactions with others can boost the brain's oxytocin levels, which promotes feelings of happiness and well-being. 5. Mindfulness and reflection. One of the most important ways Aaron can fuel his passion is through self-awareness. By practicing mindfulness and reflecting on his motivations, he can reconnect with what initially inspired him. Research has found that mindfulness practices can reduce stress, increase focus, and improve overall emotional well-being. For Aaron, this could mean taking time each day to meditate or journal about his experiences. Balancing giving out and fueling passion. For Aaron, the challenge wasn't just reigniting his passion, it was also about learning how to balance the demands of his work with the need to keep his passion alive. This is a common struggle for people who are deeply committed to their work or to helping others. If we give too much of ourselves without taking time to refuel, we run the risk of burnout. This balance can be understood through the lens of nature and nurture. Our genetic predispositions, such as resilience and stress tolerance, play a role in how we handle the demands of life. However, our environment and choices also shape our ability to maintain that balance. In Aaron's case, his dedication to teaching had led him to neglect his own needs, but by making small adjustments, like setting boundaries and scheduling regular time for self-care, he could maintain both his passion and his professional responsibilities. To achieve this balance, Aaron needs to recognize that fueling passion isn't a one-time task, it's an ongoing process. It's like tending a garden. If you water it consistently and nourish the soil, it will thrive. But if you neglect it, the garden will wither. Aaron must realize that by regularly fueling his passion, he could continue to give to his students without feeling depleted. Finally, what steps can Aaron take to come out of his passionless teaching career? Let's dive in. How to come out of a burnout. Aaron's story offers hope for those who have reached the point of burnout. Burnout is more than just feeling tired. It's a state of physical, emotional, and mental exhaustion caused by prolonged stress. It's a result of giving too much for too long without adequate recovery. Fortunately, coming out of burnout is possible, and science offers us some strategies for recovery. 1. Acknowledge the burnout. The first step is recognizing the burnout for what it is. In Aaron's case, he had to admit that he was no longer fulfilled by his work. Denying burnout only prolongs it. Admitting the issue allows us to take steps toward recovery. 2. Rest and recovery. The brain and body need time to heal. Rest is critical to overcoming burnout. Aaron's sabbatical is essential for him to recover his energy. Research shows that chronic stress depletes the brain's ability to function properly, but rest can reverse these effects by restoring cognitive function and emotional balance. 3. Seek support. Burnout can make us feel isolated, but seeking support from friends, colleagues, or professionals can help. For example, Aaron's conversation with his colleague was a turning point for him. Social support is backed by science as a key factor in recovering from burnout. Studies show that people with strong social connections are more resilient to stress and recover faster. 4. Reconnect with purpose. One of the most important steps in overcoming burnout is reconnecting with the sense of purpose that originally motivated us. For Aaron, this means rediscovering his love for teaching and learning. Purpose provides us with a sense of direction and fulfillment, helping us recover from the emotional toll of burnout. 5. Build resilience. Lastly, Aaron needs to build resilience to prevent future burnout. This involves adopting self-care practices such as regular exercise, mindfulness, and setting boundaries. Epigenetic research suggests that by changing our behaviors and environment, we can strengthen our resilience and even pass on healthier traits to future generations, the 100-year effect in action. Aaron's journey is a powerful reminder that passion, like any other resource, must be nurtured. By understanding the science behind passion, burnout, and resilience, we can learn to fuel our passions in a sustainable way, balancing our personal fulfillment with the demands of our careers. And by doing so, we not only improve our own well-being, but also create a lasting impact on future generations. Our own story illustrates that self-knowledge is crucial for those who guide and teach others. Understanding yourself allows you to connect with others more deeply and share your wisdom more effectively.